start What there's a this
Akash. Request.
question.
The con-
Business has to ensure that there is a capping, a liability clause, because that is where their actual financial risk is starting.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
there's a question, a suggestion from Vishalji. Although, I mean, Vishalji is a person who can raise questions and as well as answer even for others also. So he is the most respectable person in the legal fraternity also. He supports us very widely on legal matters. Uh, Pointers which business can pick up. So while we may pick up, we may suggest something. And the risk register sample which Aishwarya shared also had various suggestions on that part. We can still share that going to improve. It is related to integrity. Then what additional measures will be imposed? So while we may still suggest, I would still prefer to don't follow and copy paste the same suggestions which we have given. Just think logically and put your risk mitigation steps as per your own business justifications. But we will take your point, Vishalji. Noted.
In line to that, even Sheetal is requesting if the legal team can share the mitigation plan for the standard risks or common risks, also GCC templates to follow for the contract agreement.
Yeah,
Can
yeah. So
that be
we'll
shared with
share
them?
GCC template. We will share the uh, sample risk register, and we will also share some of the suggestions that legal team can provide in order to mitigate the risk. But with the disclaimer, because lawyers are known to provide disclaimers in every email. We will take that right with pride. We'll share those with our standard disclaimers.
Okay, another thought from Satish Patil, instead of giving rates in our standard quotation format, we provide rates on email and put our general terms and conditions link, the standard statement. Is that okay?
So ideally, it goes whether a PO is sufficient or not, because sometimes PO also contains a small line that refer our general terms and conditions on the same. We would say the implied acceptance is needed. The explicit consent is needed. So either you need to attach general terms and conditions, not just by a link, and tell to provide the acceptance on email or in writing. That is something which is preferred if it is not a low value contract. If it is not a one time contract. For smaller contracts, one time contracts is still okay.
Okay, another question from Amar Pradhan. Do we need to mention the full scope of work to vendors while issuing the PO to them, as we don't find them in our POs issued to vendors? Full scope of work in the PO.
Hmm. I have dealt with such a question today itself. I mean, advising one particular business or function, but maybe share Aishwarya, any insights from you? Otherwise, I'll take that question.
You
Okay,
can
so
take
what
it.
happens
You
is
can take it.
what happens is a client gives you a business proposal, and then they say, okay, at the time of finalizing the contract, it's written that scope as per business proposal. I would still say that a PO or a business proposal or an email is certainly not a valid defined scope. You need to define your scope with all the timelines, expectations, limitations, as well as penalty clauses that you want to impose to other party. So go with the specific terms, even if it is not mentioned in the PO. You need to ask the defined scope when it comes to delivery of services. When it comes to taking delivery of services from our suppliers or vendors, it is more important for us to make specific, exact, detailed scope. What do we expect from our vendors and consultants and suppliers to provide for? Because at the end of the day, if we say that provision of services for, say, handling maybe inspection schedules, so we do not know that what details will he be providing. So better to document everything in the scope. You can take those points from the business proposal which that party has given, but make it detailed so that tomorrow you shouldn't be in any situation wherein there is an ambiguity. Client says, I wanted to perform only 5 activities, but now you are asking me to do 10. So better to have a detailed scope at the PO level itself.
So generally, Manoj, the detailed scope of work is to be mentioned in the main agreement, right? And it can be in the PO as well, but generally these detailed scope of works and the terms and conditions are a part of the agreement, right?
Yes. So I am answering the question wherein I assume there is only PO. If agreement is there, then we can make it as
Oh,
detailed as
okay.
possible.
Mhm.
So if there is an agreement or master service agreement, and for
Hmm.
recurring transactions we are issuing POs, then we can have very limited information in the PO.
Okay.
If the
Mhm.
broader scope is defined in MSA. But if it is a
Mhm.
standalone PO, then we need to define the scope in detailed
Scope of
manner
work,
in
yeah.
the.
Hmm. Okay. Thanks for that clarity. Just a minute. Sheetal Rana's follow-up question. Is there, sorry, if there was any term in NIT that changed during the agreement, can we claim the same on the basis of NIT?
Sorry, I'm not getting that question.
If there was any term in NIT
And okay.
that changed during the agreement, can we claim the same on the basis of NIT? What is NIT?
Later one
Sorry.
prevails actually.
I think
So it
a tender
happens,
document.
yeah, maybe in the tender document there is a different clause, and when sometimes after award of the tender they enter into a specific contract with us. So which one will prevail? So obviously later will prevail. Otherwise, if, except when the tender documents are the having some parent clauses, wherein there is a room for interpretation for the contract enter at a later stage. So if the contract enter at a later stage is quite detailed, entered at a later stage, agreed by both the parties, the later will prevail.
Hmm. Okay, would anyone like to address Sai Ganesh Arepu's question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
so to answer his question, even if the tender was reviewed in 2024 and you're participating in the same bid under the same terms and condition, you still have to send it to the legal team for review. We will maybe you can send the previous tender as well, so it'll make it easier for us to compare the terms and conditions and see whether it's the same. But you will definitely have to send it again for legal review and get our approval.
I hope that answers Arepu. Rajesh Agri's question.
Rajesh, agree. Yeah, so you say that some clauses in the contract appear unfavorable to us. We have formally communicated our concerns via email and requested necessary amendments. Please confirm whether our email will be considered as an official and valid communication regarding this matter. Yes, if you have conveyed to the client via email, that's definitely a valid negotiation point that we're raising to the client. And we can definitely wait for their review. They can either reply via email as to what they're accepting and not accepting, or they can put it in track changes mode in the Word document and send it back to us.
Okay,
Thanks,
think,
Anant Kokarkar's question. So
I don't know. There is some
I want to
technical
take
difference
Anand's
between
question.
these
I
questions.
can't
Yeah.
see the questions actually.
let me read
Same
it.
here, I also
Every
can't see
year,
questions.
it's in the chat box. Let me read it for you. Every
Yeah.
year we are doing rental agreement with Adani Port Limited for our office and bunker lab. But Adani is not accepting any changes in agreement provided by them. We have been sending the same to legal also, and as per advice, preparing risk register also and taking BD approval. That's
So
it. That's the only thing.
yeah, that's the only step that is already being doing. We understand. I personally aware of this matter. Sometimes it is that you confirm on our terms, then only we will enter into a lease agreement. That's also there with Adani at few locations, that they do not share the lease template also. They just share the rates, they just share it on email and ask our acceptance before they share the agreement. And even in the agreement, they do not accept any changes. Now, for those particular locations where we need to have a specific operational office, we have no choices but to continue. Otherwise, we will lose that opportunity and the location to have more businesses from that location. So we continue with the risk register, and we continue with the those clauses. Of course, it does not have unlimited liability type risk, so it doesn't go to exco levels. But business director and myself, we accept and continue with the same standard template of Adani every year. Now, Amrendra also has a question, which I could read. He says that, if a client has accepted our terms, but still they are not making full payments to us, what do we do? And more so when the person, the concerned official of that client has also left the company. So even if one person has left the company, it is not the person who has taken the services of SGS in his individual capacity, it is the company which is binding. So we have the litigation mechanism to follow for payments wherein the clients are not paying to us, but it needs to deal with the specific threshold. So below a threshold, we will not enter into, say, entering into a full commercial suit against them or recovery suit against them. So we have a threshold of sending maybe dunning letters, then legal notice, and if it is still not crossing that threshold, we will not pursue beyond 2 legal notices, because then otherwise it is going to cost us even more for recovery of that matter. So that is what we follow in the recovery of outstanding dues.
Thanks, Manoj. We missed one question. How to deal with situation when contracts are framed contract without any contract values?
Somehow I am not getting the questions in the chat box, but contracts are framed
It's
contracts. And
that's a question from Vishal Gupta. How to deal with situation when contracts are frame contracts without any contract values? Vishal, would you like to elaborate on this for better clarity? In the meantime, I think we have.
yeah, Vishalji, if you can write more in the chat box.
Okay, in the meantime, do we have any other questions? Some of them have actually asked the questions in the chat, and that's why generally we use the Q&A section only for the questions.
Getting refreshed, I think, for myself at least, because last question I see is the message from Bodhisattva thanking. Then, other than this, I have not got any additional comment. Maybe we can refresh it somehow.
No, I think we have covered all questions.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jeff covered the questions that's on the chat box.
In the
Covered
chat
all-
as well as in the Q&A.
Yeah, both.
Okay, so
All right,
Q&A.
and I do not see any further comment from Vishal. Maybe Vishal, you want to connect separately with the legal team if you have any thoughts or questions on this particular topic. Before we wrap up, Manoj, is there anything specific that you would like to convey to the business? Anything that you would like to highlight on ground? What challenges you're facing in real, and how businesses can do better? Just to summarize it and emphasize on certain aspects.
Yeah, so two to three points. Like one, I have seen that when it comes to litigation, they involve us only when they've already crossed 2, 3 bridges. In few cases, even after having several rounds of negotiation with the clients, they started including legal team for the first time, and then we see a lot of damage has already been occurred, wherein we have accepted our faults at various stages and communications. So whenever you see that the client is questioning your integrity of services or doubting any compliance on any of the agreements, involve the legal team just in the initial replies also. That is the first advice. Second is, do not sign anything wherein you have not got the power of attorney. So I have seen people signing, blindly on behalf of the company, but they do not have any authority. So POA is a very critical document. If you don't have it, don't use it. Otherwise, it will be considered against SGS, but in favor of the other party because of maybe several principles of doctrine of indoor management and all other things. Lastly, when I have never returned any contract to any business party or any business colleagues, saying that it's a repetitive contract, why are you sending it to me every time? So don't assume that this is repetitive. Don't assume the terms are standard. I still say that send it to legal team. Let us review and we will confirm back that you can go ahead or not. So do not assume in any of the comfort zone that it is a standard one. It's a known client. It's a very basic simple terms. So don't go as per your own decisions. Just share it with the legal team. Let us take that call. If there is anything to discuss, we will engage into discussions with you. But certainly send those agreements and contracts for our review. Those 3 points wherein we have seen some deviations from the business teams in past.
Thank you so much, Manoj, for emphasizing on this. And I would like to really reiterate that what oftentimes we see is we use the term they, right? That team and this team. It's really important to build that mindset that we are all operating for one common company, that's SGS, and we are all a part of one roof. So it's good to use the terminologies as a legal team and a finance team and a business line of business. And while we are communicating, right, even if in the open forum or in the closed forums, it's important that we speak respectfully at all times. I did notice one of the comments chat in the chat. So would like to emphasize that we have to communicate at all times with respect. And thank you so much to the legal team for doing such a great job on these aspects. And it's very important for the all the line of business folks to understand that our or for all actually, that our small each and every small action can lead to an financial and reputational risk and impact to the organization. So it's really important that we understand these aspects and are always vigilant, right? Like you must have also heard us emphasizing be vigilant. Even in the cybercrime sessions, we have always reiterated that be vigilant, and before taking any actions, any decisions, take informed decisions. Legal team is here. Please be in touch with them before moving forward, on the critical aspects, as Manoj also rightly reiterated. We do have one more question from Manjunath Patil. Let me read it out for you. So he has come across with one supplier whose material jurisdiction comes in India, whereas material needed in UAE lab. It is to be procured from India to Dubai. So how it can be handled? Anyone would like to?
Okay, so maybe first the comment on Mayuri's point that we use. I mean, sometimes we have seen that this team, that team, they, and other words. It is important that we are one company. We are a part of a big family. We should consider us as we. But sometimes I still recommend to respect each other's boundaries also. Like we do not take as a call assuming that finance person will give this opinion only. So I respect decision of finance team or tax team to take your call and at time dictate your terms to us. Same way, I am saying that do not assume anything. Consider legal team, as something
Absolutely.
to serve as internal clients. You all are our internal customers, and if you want to serve in the
Yes.
best interest of overall company. So that was on the point, but we genuinely believe that we all are working towards the common goal, that is
Absolutely.
serving, yeah, everything. Now, on the point of this procurement of anything from UAE, so if I have understood correctly, if it is a commercial term, then obviously we need to see which is the basic party who is paying for the services or procuring the goods, and the supplier is located in which location. If it is not governed with any sanctioned policy risk, then I don't think there is any challenges in having a cross-border transaction. So maybe we need more elaboration on the question, or Shreya or Aishwarya, if you have got some other insights of the question. For me, it looks like a cross-border transaction only.
Yes, yes. I think maybe as far as dispute goes, if they're asking about jurisdiction, if it's an UAE client, we would obviously prefer India to be the forum. We would push for that. If they don't agree, then maybe, as earlier pointed out, that there are some neutral for international dispute bodies like SIAC, UN Sector, ICC. So we can then try going for the middle path, but we should definitely push India first.
Yeah. Just to again emphasize on this point that international arbitrations are way too expensive than Indian arbitrations. So even if we are dealing with any entity, we are procuring goods from external country, and if that party also has an office in India, maybe licensing office or any coordination office, then we try and put the litigation terms within India. Because if it goes for international arbitration, it becomes way more expensive for us. If at all it's needed, then you try to look for a place wherein SGS has its office. Maybe, Geneva or Singapore or any other affiliates wherein we can get some local support.
All right. Hope that was helpful. But we're on top of time, and if you have any follow-up questions or any support that you need, legal team is always here with us. You can always reach out to the legal team. Now you know who to reach out to. I'm sure many of you are already in touch, business lines and the legal team. But thank you so much to Manuj and his team for, first of all, everything that you do for SGS and for being a great support for all of us. And thank you so much for making this session so, covering it so much in detail and looking at the questions. And I'm sure that many of you could learn and understand important aspects. Thank you so much to the participants as well for being with us, for making it engaging. And thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mayuri. Thank you everyone for attending this patiently, and thanks to my team for making it a live session and providing their insights also, equally contributing to the decks. Thank you so much. Again.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.